Alright, welcome everybody to the Banner Saga 3. For anyone who's watching on my Twitch channel, I already did a stream of this there, but unfortunately I didn't have record on because I was running the Twitch on my PC as opposed to on my Mac where I have all the settings that I want. So unfortunately it was a little bit of a failure of preparation, but I was also recording on the Twitch stream using a built-in mic just because of audio issues I was having, and now as you can see I'm using a brand spanking shiny new Rode mic, which I'm very happy about, and I'm also going to get to do a sound mix and post and all that wonderful stuff. So I think you're all going to be better off, you my YouTube audience, even if you don't get to watch it live. I've played through a little bit of the game so far, but just to try to do a video here that's caught up to the Twitch stream, I'm going to import my saved game from the previous game and start anew.
Far from safety as we could have been. Me, Rook, and Alette, in our small town of Skor. So much has changed since then. We traveled the length of the world to escape serpents and dredge, and still it was not enough. What I do now is madness. Somewhere in the darkness, I've been told, lurks an answer to all our desperate questions. I will make sure it sees the light of day. All I care about now is that the friends, no, the family I fought to deliver to Arberang, live to see the sun move again.
And I wish that for all you folks as well, that you all live to see the sun move again. Hopefully that happens for us all. Here we are in Arberang, which is where we found ourselves at the end of the second Banner Saga game, going to see King Meinulf. At least in my save game, there may be other possible outcomes, but it didn't go particularly well and things got kind of violent, which things have a tendency to do in this Banner Saga world, in which the darkness, the never-ending story like nothing, is encroaching on the world. If we look at the map, we can see very clearly, and I'll show you this at the beginning just to give you the sort of apocalyptic feel that we're getting here in Banner Saga 3. Right now we're just loading the map. But obviously this is a game that I love. I like these strategy games that involve a lot of reading and involve some clan management and involve some fighting and so on. As some of you may have seen me playing Six Ages. This game will have some similarities to Six Ages because of the multiple choice driven random events. This game is, of course, very different as well from the Glorantha games from Six Ages and King of Dragon Pass because it involves combat that takes place in a turn-based environment. I mean, I guess you could say that the combat in Six Ages is turn-based, although it's all delivered to you through text. And here the combat is very graphical, and you have 6 units that you can move to various spaces on a board, and you see where all the enemy units are, and each of the units that you command has its own special abilities. The enemies, of course, also have their special abilities. But as I was saying, so here's an illustration of how dire the situation has become here in this world that we're in, this Norse mythology-inspired world that we find ourselves in here in the Banner Saga series. So here we see this sort of purplish area. This is where the darkness that has been encroaching upon the world has consumed the world. I mean, it's not fully consumed, but it's turned into sort of what appears to be a twisted version of itself. And it's not even clear that it's particularly safe for beings that are from the small remaining sliver of light to even venture into the dark area. Even the dredge, who are the main nemesis of the first 2 games, are twisted by the presence of this darkness. They're these sort of mutated dredge with tentacles and so forth. Those of you who haven't played the first couple of Banner Saga games may not know what I'm talking about, in which case I would recommend definitely playing them, because there's, of course, going to be a lot of spoilers in this, and this game is very story-driven, which is another thing that I love in video games. But here we are at Arberang. The character you see represented here, the symbol is that of Rook. Rook is he's a man who's been through a lot of hardship and toil. He lost his daughter at the end of the first game, but still it's on his shoulders to save this world from the encroaching darkness and from the marching dredge and from even it's still other horrors, probably some of which are still yet to be revealed in this game that we're playing right now. I'm just checking checking my sound levels here for a second. Okay, still coming through loud and clear. Here we are on in Arborang, and we have the opportunity, as you can see from this talk bubble here, to talk to somebody. That is Oddleaf, or Oddlife, perhaps, who is a member of our party, who I think that, you know, she and Rook are a little bit sweet on each other. She was, I believe, the former wife of the chieftain of Skogar, which is the village we heard about, Skogar, where Rook originated from, but it was destroyed by the dredge, like almost everything else in this world, or just destroyed by the darkness. That's what happened to everything else. Oh, also there's a giant worm, or a giant serpent that appears to be devouring the world. And we are still trying to determine what that's all about, but we certainly know that it's there, and we've seen it in the flesh. It's not just a stuff of nightmares. It actually exists and is in the process of devouring the world, and hopefully we can stop that from happening in this game as well. But let's talk to Oddlife. A single white bird catches your eye, drifting overhead like a kite. How long has it been since you last saw a bird? Rook. They're almost ready with the battering ram again. Get up. You're exhausted. The gates of Arborang have been closed to you and many other refugees, and now you've joined an uphill battle to change that, both literally and figuratively. What are you doing? Staring at clouds? Thinking this through. I'm going to do sort of a Christopher Lambert voice for Rook, and then more of a Scottish voice for Ruga. Don't. There's a while between us and Arborang. Simple. Ah, I know that look. Of all the choices I could have made, why side with Ruga? It's because you do the right thing, Rook. You just can't help yourself. And you couldn't let King Meinolf abandon thousands of us out here, with the dredge on the horizon and the darkness closing. Let me make this easy for you. Once we get through that wall, we go our separate ways. You won't see the governor of Borsgard again. Is that a promise, Ruga? Depends on whether we succeed today. You know I hate to agree, but Ruga has a point. We stumbled around, and everything we've done to get here was pointless. All right, what's the plan? At my word, clansmen start fires further down the wall. That shall split their attention from the gates. Archers behind my shield as they run the battering ram forward. They'll be waiting to greet us with swords and axes. That's why you're here. Who knows? Maybe they'll lay down their blades at the mere sight of the hero from Skogar. And if the gates stand again, even if we bash our way in? It won't stand, not this time. Trust me. Just remind your horse folk whose side they're on, will ya? They're making the rest of us uneasy. His grin is as jagged as a hyena's and half as reassuring. He barks, and fighters begin to form up again, including us, because this is the first battle of this game. I played through a few of the battles. This initial part is largely a string of battles, which is just how I like it. Well, I mean, there are usually a bunch of different elements in this game. There are these multiple choice-driven events, which we saw a little bit of. And then there are battles, which we're also about to see. Because I just restored this save game from I imported the save game from the end of Banner Saga 2, there were apparently a few promotions that I hadn't done yet, so I'm going to do those now very quickly. Okay, and I won't go into too much detail about what each of these characters can do, so that we can see action relatively quickly. All right, let's see here. Eagle, all right. He has some points available, so I'm just going to give Eirik a little promotion here. Eirik is someone, basically his main ability is to rally, which is to provide more willpower to anyone else who happens to be on the field. And he can provide more willpower to people from anywhere, just through a rousing battle cry, a rousing shout. So he's an extremely valuable character, but he isn't necessarily the best fighter, which is why we want to make an effort to keep him alive and make him as resistant to damage as we can. So here's a great ability, Titan Straps. We're going to put 2 into Titan Straps, which will allow him to regenerate armor if he gets hit. We also am going to give him the ability to resist strength damage. We'll give him 1 point in that. And these are points that the points that I was just spending on those special abilities are points that you can spend after a particular stat is maxed out. Willpower is his stock and trade. Let's bring that up to 8 and confirm. Irik's going to be in my party because he's there to basically provide morale to my troops, and he does it very well. Mogr is basically a tank, I guess you could say. We've got 4 points available for him, so I'm going to give him 1 willpower. I'll give him 1 point of strength. And Mogr is a character who excels at taking hits and not getting killed. So I'm going to give him another point in Hunker Down, which will help him to resist armor damage. He's got a ton of armor, and then they have to penetrate through this ability too, that is the enemy when they attack. So he's going to be very hard to bring down, and always has been. I'm also going to give him a point of Robust, and then I'll confirm that. As for Hakon hits extremely hard with an 18 strength, which I just gave him. He's going to hit even harder. Let's see if we can give him the ability to, this Robust ability, it's really hard to beat. The ability to resist strength damage, even though he's a hard hitter and I want to focus on his ability to damage. Obviously, he has special abilities that are focused on that as well. But I also want to make sure that he can take some degree of punishment. That's in the battle that we're about to see, that's about to happen. They're unforgiving in the beginning of this game, as you'll see. Skathak is one of our Horseborn. He's one of the Teulu, which are the Horseborn are basically centaurs. And again, I'm trying not to go too much into background so that we can get into the action, and then maybe I'll go a little bit into greater depth for those of you who haven't had as much experience with this series. I'm going to increase his strength because we want him to be able to hit hard. I'm going to increase, let's see here. I'd like to make him somewhat resistant to damage as well. So I am going to give him Hunker Down, and that completes what we're going to do with him. Instead of Skathak, actually, I'm going to bring in Canary, who is a fierce archer, or really a fierce javelin thrower. The Cantref are the missile troops among the Horseborn. She doesn't have any points available at the moment, and so her stats are not really that great. I think what I'm going to do is give her a promotion. Archery is going to be very helpful in the coming battle. She's got 2 points available. I'm going to increase her armor and increase her strength. And then Rook, the protagonist of the series, basically the mainstay of the party. I'm going to give him a point of armor break. Very important for Rook. And Rook excels at scoring critical hits both with his bow and his what I believe are his daggers. I'm just going to make sure that I confirmed when it came to Canary. Okay, so who else? Does Eagle have points available? No, he does not. Okay. Does everyone have a magic item? Canary does not. All right, so let's see what we can do about that. That's a nice one. -3 armor. Don't want to give her that. Gold Wasp. +2 willpower. Okay, I think I'm going to give her this, and then she also gains willpower upon resting, which is going to be a wonderful thing. Anybody having more willpower is always beneficial. Just making sure I don't have any more points for Rook. Okay. Now, I'm just wondering whether I want Irik for this battle, or do I want to bring Skathak? Yeah, I think I'm going to sub in Skathak for this battle. I'm going to put him there. Because these Horseborn are extremely mobile, and mobility is going to be important in this battle that we're about to have. He's a Horseborn who's ironically wearing Horseborn hooves. Probably in real life, if there were Horseborn, he wouldn't agree to that. But anyway, we are ready for battle. So let's get it on. Here is a battle at the gates of Skogar, or I'm sorry, not Skogar, but Arborong, which is the great city of the humans, where the King Meinulf, king of the humans, lives, who we're attempting to see. But unfortunately, we ended up in somewhat of a skirmish with his people. We're about to have another skirmish with his people. One of us has to get through that gate. In this battle, speed is definitely of the essence. Now, Rugga's people, they started a fire, which I guess helped people somewhere else in the battle, but here it created some fire that is somewhat of an obstacle to us. We've got some barricades here with some archers behind them. We would like to break through those barricades as soon as possible. This fire, unfortunately, is not going to go away, so we are going to want to run through the fire. As you might imagine, walking through a square with fire does damage to you. What we want to do is walk through as few squares with fire as possible. It's probably a good idea in real life too. Maybe that's a metaphor for something. Let's see. Well, I'm actually going to bring Ago down there. Ago we're going to want on the front line because of his ability to shield wall, which means that when he's standing next to someone, they benefit from, they get a +1 armor. That's going to be essential in this battle because we're going to have to walk through fire, and as you'll see, there are going to be even more enemies. The enemies don't look very impressive right now, but there's going to be an infinite stream of enemies coming out of that gate up there. Whatever comes out of that gate, stay together, as Maximus puts it in Gladiator, and that's exactly what we're going to make an effort to do. We're going to try to break down these barricades, which our archers are going to excel at doing. And then we're going to try to send our people through there as quickly as possible. Yeah, he's going to try to get through there. Try to run through the gap. Because this area right here looks like it might be accessible to humans or to varl, but it's not. Varl take up 4 squares, and it's difficult for them to squeeze through spaces often in this game. Let's see what we can do. Ideally, we can just clear a path quickly through this area with the barricades and the archers. Now I'm going to take a hit from some archers. It wasn't that bad. We shield walled it up there. Now we're going to take another archer hit. What did I take there? I don't think I took any damage. No, I didn't. Okay. I'm going to move him forward. Use a willpower, but we're going to start scoring some kills very soon, so I'm not that worried about willpower. He's going to take 1 strength from walking through there, but it can't be helped. He's going to fare very well against the archers there in combat. But we need to break down those barricades before we can get to them. I'm going to get right up in their face. I believe they're going to have to move in order to shoot at me now. I don't need to move through the fire this turn. So instead I'm going to move up here because I can shoot at the enemy from here. We want to shoot anyone who's in the way of our path to the gate there in the northwest. If I can take her out this turn, let's do so. That is the enemy archer. Alright, I think I'm only going to take 1 by going through there. Oh, okay, yeah, I can do a nasty thing to this other archer here. I took 1 damage, but it can't be helped because we have to walk through the fire in this battle. No, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to see if I can eliminate her by marking prey, which means I'm going to cause both of the horseborn here to attack this enemy as well. Oh, but I can't mark prey on a diagonal. Oh, that's a shame. Alright. Well, at the very least I can render her ineffective by lowering her strength. Okay, there we go. That's a lot of damage. That's nice. I think that's going to put me through 2 squares of fire. Egil is very hardy. I'm thinking I will send him up as far as I can get him. Actually, let's see here. I want to make sure that I give our varl their space to get through the fire. He's going to make it to the opposite side. I have to spend a few willpower points to do it, but I think it's worth it. Egil is going to run through the fire. He takes no damage as usual. And then he's going to give himself a stone wall, which means he's going to be even more impervious than he normally is. I'm going to take a bunch of damage because varl is so big. I'm going to take 4 by 1 through fire, unfortunately. I wish I had a mender. Someone to restore my strength. So we get someone to the gate, we can put an end to this fight. Okay. It turns out I cannot get through the fire in that direction. So I'm going to have to move up here, and then on the following turn I'm going to make my way through the fire using Mogre, who, you know, just like with any other kind of attack, he's not going to take any damage by going through there. He's just kind of slow and not very mobile. So we got 2 damage, that's not going to do nothing. Nope, deflect. Skathak is extremely mobile. He may be able to just run up there, hit and run. Yeah, he's gonna finish her off, then move back a little bit so that he's out of range of these enemies. They can't group around him. Yeah, I played this battle once before, and I was a little bit confused about exactly where I needed to go, so it ended up lasting a little longer than I would have liked. Let's see if you move over there. Yeah, it's 3 willpower. It may be useful. It may be worth it. One thing I do not want to do is move through multiple squares of fire. If I do that, she took some damage, but it can't be helped. Okay. I'm gonna ideally split the enemy up, because I would prefer to fight them individually as opposed to moving through their shield wall. Just a moment. I'm just gonna. My air conditioning, I think, is very loud, so I'm just gonna turn it off. All right. Does she have a longer range with any of these special abilities? Like pin or poison tipped? No, she does not. Okay, well that's fine. All right. That's going to use 3 willpower. But we want to move up as quickly as possible. If I marked prey on him, she wouldn't get a shot on him. All right. Well, I need to take down this guy's armor. You think you're going to affect Egil? Some lame spear attack? Got another thing coming, as Rob Halford would put it. Alright. Yeah, well, Hakon's going to want to move up there. So, position Egil. Oh yeah, that's right. Moving while under the effect of that spearman. Under the effect of that spearman's special ability normally does damage, but because Egil is so freaking tough, he's fine with it. You have to be more worried about Aegil getting killed in a random event in this game than having him get killed in a battle. He's just not very susceptible to that. That looks like it hurt. He only took 2 there. That's not bad. He is, yeah. When he gets the opportunity, he is going to cause some serious havoc down there when we hit their line. The gate cannot fail. I'm afraid it will, good sir. Yeah, this battle, if you haven't done it before, can be problematic. Let's see. I believe I could move up there and I could finish this battle. The question is, do I want to do that? Yeah, if I get the opportunity to do it, I should do it. You can take off a lot of armor there. Okay, so I just got out of that battle. Maybe I did that a little bit prematurely, but yeah, those guys do keep coming out of the gate. Every turn, 2 more enemy soldiers are going to come through, and that can become very problematic if you end up getting bogged down in the middle of the battlefield. So if you have the opportunity to finish that battle, my suggestion is that you do it. There's going to be plenty more battles, plenty more opportunities to gain renown, where it's a lot easier to get renown. Renown being what you earn by killing enemies, and you can also earn it through making good choices in random events and so forth. As Arborang's defenders fall, Rugga exercises a mischievous ghost of a smile. You brace yourself for whatever he's about to do. Brothers, our hearts have never been in killing kinsmen, Rugga shouts, turning so everyone can hear him. If this is what it takes to unite us, so be it. He crosses his wrists above his head as he approaches Arborang's guards, their weapons rattling with mistrust. Ardleaf groans, her bow still drawn. What treachery now? Rugga's hands are bound. His fighters draw back, unsure of what has happened. Hours later, an answer finally arrives. The gates are drawn open, to your great surprise. King Meinolf decrees an end to this fighting. He welcomes all refugees into the city, shouts a man in Arborang's colors. But as the captain of his guard, I warn you, do not test his generosity. See, no other playthrough of the Banner Saga gives you voice acting, I imagine anyway. I mean, maybe there's somebody out there, but, you know, you're not going to find someone with as little of a sense of shame as me very frequently doing. No, I don't want to say that. In the Let's Play community, there are a lot of people with not very much of a sense of shame. Probably less than me in some cases. But voice acting, folks, it's a major perk. All right, I don't think that we can really do anything here except for go to the gate. Yeah, we don't even have the opportunity to look at the situation of our heroes, I believe. Yeah, so we need to move forward toward the gate. Nobody went down, which is a great thing in the last battle. So I think the expeditious finish to that battle was the right approach. Okay. A crush of people slowly pile through the gates, squeezing close together. The guard captain calls you over as you pass. He has Rugga close at hand. If it were up to me, I'd have you in chains alongside Rugga. But our king has asked for you personally. He says you're to be treated as a guest. I've been ordered to escort you to a gathering at the Great Hall, along with this cur. Rugga flashes the sort of grin that makes him so punchable. Good to see you too, Petrus. A captain now. You been busy? Petrus restrains himself. You consider the king's surprising orders. What made the king decide to open the gates to everyone? I can't speak for King Meinolf, but if these people had never joined banners with this snake, they'd have found safety a lot sooner. Another of Meinolf's lies. That reminds me, I need to find a Gog. King Meinolf will speak to you both when we reach the Great Hall. And don't try anything. The king may be willing to trust you based on stories alone, but I am not. All right, we're sternly warned by the captain of King's Mine-Elf's guards not to mess around. But will the other citizens, the other upstanding citizens of Arborang, be so willing to avoid messing around, so willing to refrain from any sort of skullduggery? We shall find out very soon, for better or worse. We grimly trudge on. You're going to spend a bunch of the Banner Saga games grimly trudging on. But you do get to listen to Austin Winter while you're doing it. Look at how many people there are already! There's about to be a whole lot more.
I don't care for how many looks we're getting.
The fields between the outer and inner walls of Arborang are brimming with different people and clans. All stare as the masses enter. A pair of curious children run to you in awe. Can I ride the horse, people? Gasps a young boy. His mother grabs him by the arm, blurting apologies. A man with a short banner of his own approaches. Excuse my wife and son, he says. There isn't anyone in Arborang who hasn't heard of you. We're a small clan, he continues, of strong men and smart women. Give us the honor of joining our banner to yours. Oddleaf gives you an uncertain shrug. Any allies are welcome in these times. The man claps you on the shoulder, and many other clans promise to sew their banners to yours as you travel towards the Great Hall. Plus 50 supplies, that's good, at least they brought food. Morale declined. Apparently the people were not 100% happy with the decision to add more folks under our banner. Personally, I would like to do whatever helps keep us alive, which is the biggest challenge in this game. Barter thrives in the shadow of catastrophe as people haggle their treasured family heirlooms for a handful of grain. Between robbery and theft, it's been a real problem, Petrus tells you. Eventually we gave up patrolling the lower rings of Arborang. Every man for himself down here. You pass through more than a few reminders of better times. You sing the songs that remind you of the better times. Though gossip is traded freely, most items and supplies are outrageously expensive. Still, you can afford to take a look. I sure can. Here and there, a piece of someone's old life catches your eye. See, now you're making me feel bad about buying these magic items. That probably belong to dead people. Alright, we've got 21 renown. Let's see, this Thruster's Tooth looks great. It looks like something that would be great for Hakon. A warrior's beret. One can't help but think that unconventionally when wearing this weathered green cap. It is an unconventional sort of cap, isn't it? Move their allies never deflected, 50% crit chance, plus 2 aggro, okay. I could buy that. Plus 3 EXE talents, plus 10 dodge, strength, plus 1 move. Okay, yeah, that looks like, okay, that's the sort of thing that will give us more mobility. Oath of Under. A ring of bygone kings and slaves, scribes and warriors. An eternal promise of strength for the task at hand. Plus 3 to all talents and plus 20 to crit chance. These are all pretty powerful looking items. I like this plus 2 strength, plus 25% crit chance for Hakon. I'm going to buy that. And then, okay, hopefully, yeah, I've got 7 days worth of supplies. Hopefully I'll have the opportunity to get some more. It may have been foolish for me to spend all that renown on that magic item as opposed to buying food. But you never exactly know how much food you're going to end up needing, when the next opportunity for it will come along. I don't think we're going to spend multiple days marching here through this city. Hopefully we'll be able to at least cover that in less than a day. Some of these people were ready to kill us just hours ago. That's true, some of them may still be ready to do so. Thought y'all get away with this, a man slurs nearby. He and his cronies are already drinking their way through the streets. We demand justice, he bleats in the face of a confused horseborn. Ahead, more horseborn rear up at spear point. Canary and her companions thrust weapons and words back at their accusers, unintimidated. Oh, and you get some sound effects in the Banner Saga 3. When somebody gets punched, for instance, or usually having to do with some form of violence. Violence being the mainstay of, or one of the mainstays of the Banner Saga 3. Stay out of this, Petrus warns. You've done enough already. His guards try to separate the angry clansmen, but only manage to fan the flames. Justice for Tolir turns into a chant, spreading until it infects a great mass of people. The horseborn came with you, they accused. You're protecting murderers. Someone attacks and others follow. They're going to regret doing that. I can safely say. They're going to deeply regret doing that. All right. Let's see. Yeah, because all these guys are fresh. I don't have any. You don't have the renown to do any promotions at the moment. I'm just going to make sure that everyone has spent all of their points before I go into this battle, which is pretty important. I mean, now that the battle itself, I think, is not insanely important as far as battles in this game go. Oh yeah, we bought another item that Hakon could probably benefit from. Yeah, we don't have a particularly good item on him right now. We have plus 10 crit chance, plus 1 aggro. Instead, I would prefer to give him this Thruster's Tooth. So we'll remove that from his inventory and put Thruster's Tooth in, which is going to give him an even higher crit chance and also plus 2 strength, which I think is going to put him up to 20 strength. He is going to be a proverbial whirlwind of doom. All right. With that, I think we are more than ready for battle. The crowd looks riled up. Kill the rabble-rousers in blue and the rest may flee. Well, I'm not particularly worried about making them flee because I would like some more renown. I did give up the opportunity to make a bunch of renown in the last battle that we had. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll forward into these guys and do some damage. Our front line here is going to consist of Egil and those varl. Okay, we have a bunch of archers over there. That's kind of interesting. All right. All right. Well, I'm not going to worry that much about my left flank. Then I'm going to send. I want to get those archers. I want to start putting some damage on them as quickly as I can. So I'm going to put the horseborn right up front there, and then we'll have this vicious shield wall that's heading up, consisting of the 2 varl and Egil. That's going to be virtually impenetrable. All those enemies can shield wall as well, but we're going to hit harder than they do. Alright, let's get this on. Now, what's the range of these guys? I'd like to be 1 outside their range, perhaps. If I were to move up there... Yeah. And then I'd be out of range of the enemy moving up to me to fight. Oh no, not that. But still, he wasn't able to do that much to me. Well, that's because this guy is a backbiter who used his special ability to cover more distance than he otherwise would have been able to cover. Still, I'm going to move up and benefit from this shield wall here. And I'm going to bring some serious pain. Hakon is not who he wants to be standing next to. This guy's got a lot of armor. We're going to take some archer hits now, hopefully not too severe. 1, okay. We need to get up there as quickly as we can. That's going to cost 2. I think what I'm going to do is just move up and give them multiple targets. There's no need to spend a bunch of willpower. There's a lot of archers up there. But once I can get up in their face, they're very weak. Oh, I can attack them from there. Okay, I can kill that archer outright. That's what I'm gonna do. Promote. That's what I like to see. Spend a bunch of willpower. That's gonna hurt a little bit. They really want to take Hakon down. I can't blame them. I can kill one of those archers as well with rope. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take that opportunity. We all have this +1 willpower going on, so yeah, I'm not that worried about spending too much willpower. Take a seat. The wall will not hold. I think it's safe to say. The wall will not hold! Referring to their shield wall. Alright, so you're not breaking. Ooh, savage. There's one thing that Moger is not worried about. It's taking armor damage. Now he also regenerates armor damage. He can also kill this guy outright, which he will endeavor to do. Ouch. That was a palpable hit. Let's see here. We're going to try not to kill this guy because we want to get the renown associated with the rest of the potential kills. He took quite a whack there, so he's gonna pull back a little bit. He only has 7 strength. Yep, so I'm gonna take this archer out. Good. I would like them very much to be in range so that I can finish them fairly easily. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a bunch of damage to this guy's strength. Try to put him into a situation where he can't do much to us while we finish off his friends. Corn is now down to a mere 18 strength. Okay. These guys only have 7 strength. I almost pitted them. I think what I'm going to do is Eagle's going to sit here, and he's going to just provide coverage for both the varl. That was a bit less than you wanted to do there, boyo. Okay, now let's use our Sundering Impact ability to do some armor damage here. And also hit the adjacent enemy. That looked like it hurt. He's got 2 willpower. Finish this guy off. Goodbye, stupid. Alright. Yow, as they say in Gauntlet. I'm just going to go and do a little bit more damage to this guy here so he doesn't... his backbiting doesn't prove to be any more effective than I would like it to be. I'll put him down to 3 strength. He's going to be effectively out of the combat until I choose to finish him. Yeah, he can't do anything to scut back at this point. There's no need for her to stay in combat in melee range. I'm just gonna move her over. Now I'm gonna take some shots at these guys. Try to break their armor a little bit. I did a fair bit of armor damage there, but it's really not going to help. Yeah, I was considering doing Mark Prey. You know, I'm well positioned for Mark Prey, but that would be a unnecessary overkill. Like I was actually able to do some decent strength damage to me. Alright, pardon me just a moment while I finish off your friend. I'm going to break his armor a little bit. Very well. I'm not worried about him doing 12 points of damage to me in one turn. That's not likely to happen. My renown grows. Indeed it does. Canary's ready for promotion again. She's ready to go up to 10th level. So is Hakon. Mogre is as well. Wow. What a fruitful battle from our perspective. Okay. Plus 13 renown. That's a nice chunk of change. Where change is defined as renown. Canary, the usually charismatic leader of a large horseborn tribe, wears a deep scowl. Why men attack? Why so much shout? Everyone thinks you're horseborn, pillaged Tolir. This is important, Canary. Is it true? City to east? Yes, kill many man, take many thing. You need more? Ali's mouth opens but finds no words. You admit it? You plundered Tolir and killed the people there? Many food, many weapon, bring to you. You eat, you take. You slaughtered them and gave their things to us? Canary looks from Oddleaf to you, puzzled, then back to Oddleaf. I wonder if these horseborn are a little bit like the Orlanthe and Glorantha. They're just like, well, of course we raided you. What's the problem, right? What are friends for? I mean, if you can't raid each other. Her front hooves pound the dirt and she gestures in the air. You kill at walls, you kill on road, man, horseborn, every. No, that's... Damn, it's not the same thing. She doesn't get the difference. They must have done this before we even met them. How are we going to explain this away? There's nothing to explain. We either defend them or we don't. Canary, we will protect you, but you must do exactly as I say from now on. She trots nervously in place, then exhales through her nose and frowns. We'll listen, for now, but we are not pets. I have to hope this is all going to be worth the trouble, Oddleaf. Me too. Alright. I know next time I'll bring a female voice actor to do the women's voices. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I would love to have a special guest star or something like that. We'll see if that can be arranged for next episode. The grim trudging continues. These are great opportunities, as I was saying, to listen to Austin Wintory's score, which I would recommend listening to for all of the Banner Saga games. You'll recognize some of the themes from the motifs from the original Banner Saga in this, of course, but they've become progressively darker. They were a bit melancholy to begin with, but now they're just dire, as the state of the world gets more dire. These beautiful Viking longhouses here. In the crowds you notice new Varl, who had just now entered the gates. Hakon has gone off to meet them, and eventually you catch up. A familiar face glares in your direction as he speaks. Eventually we crossed paths with Bulwark and his ravens at the old ford. You remember Bulwark? The berserker, hard to forget. I thought I did some hard marches in our day, but not like this. Bulwark went his own way. Lucky we arrived when we did. I wasn't sure Arboron would still be here, or where you went. Have they treated you well since we parted, Hakon? Well enough, all things considered. Fesselt gives you a cold stare.
Don't think I've forgotten why Einertoft fell, little one. Or forgiven.
We left the bridge standing, just as the varl insisted.
But you left Einertoft to fall.
If we had made a stand in Einertoft, we'd all be dead.
Do I look like a ghost?
No, but he certainly looks hideously scarred.
Where is your tamed one-armed varl, anyway? Gone to the north, into the darkness. Juno and Ivan claim they can solve this. Is that so? Juno and Ivan? Makes you wonder who started the trouble in the first place. Rofheim is gone, Einertoft is gone, Jorendir gone. The dredge, on the other hand, Bulwark said he ran across Eilus near Bindal, and Bellower's probably on his way here right now. We defeated Bellower at Borsgard. I saw it myself. Bellower doesn't die. And what of the others like Woga or Seeth? We don't know where they went. Is Ubin around here somewhere to write these things down, at least? Afraid not. He decided to go south to Horseborn lands. Of course he did. And I guess we're the last war, Hakon. Let us bring ruin to the dredge like the old days. Of our bones, the hills.
Hakon breaks into a wide grin, clasping forearms with Fasolt, a strange gladness about them.
Of our bones, the hills!
If something must be made out of your bones, let it be the hills. Don't anybody make a flute out of them or something like that. No one's going to be making percussion instruments out of my bones. +7 varl. Varl is probably the way that they would be pronounced in Icelandic or one of the other Scandinavian languages. Alright, we continue our grim trudge through Arborang. Looks like some beautiful cherry blossom trees or something like that in the background. So much attention to detail. I love the parallax scrolling here as well. Okay. Tension continues to mount as we see flagrant looting and disorder. The path crossing the field from the outer gate to the inner black rock is longer than it looks, but you walk through dense, smoky streets escalating toward the rise in the black rock plateau. Ruga shuffles beside the guards who carry his chains. He has been unusually silent, but now he speaks softly in your ear. "Careful, Hunter," he says, even before you hear the shouts. "Looks like trouble ahead." It is trouble. A few yards ahead you spy one of Petrus's guards face down, an arrow in his head. Petrus curses angrily and runs ahead just as armed men appear from the crowd, surrounding him and attack his guards. "It would be a tragedy if something happened to him," Brugga taunts. I think we will join Petrus. We will... Well, I tried the first option last time. Stay ready and close to Brugga. It's lucky that you do, as the guard holding Rugga's chains topples from an unseen axe. Before Rugga can slink away, you knock him off his feet, just as assassins approach from the flank. Did Rugga do this to me? He and whoever his compatriots are going to pay quite dearly, as you are about to see. Let's see, I would love to bring Gunnulf in here. He could really wreck shop. Fasolt could really wreck some shop, too. You know, I think I can probably, I think they can probably add a couple points. Oh, indeed they can. I definitely want Gunnulf's armor maxed out. I want his strength maxed out. I want his willpower up. I want him dead! I want his family dead! No, I'm sorry. That's what I want for the enemy. I want Gunnulf alive. I want his family alive, too. Armor break, definitely would like him to have some of that. Let's see. Gunnulf is another very hard-hitting character. He's a lot like Hakon. Give him a critical bonus. And also one of these armor-based skills. Resisting armor damage, I like that. That's great. And Fasolt, he can raise his armor up to 19, which is just extraordinary. But I think that my core party is pretty good at the moment. I'm going to give him another strength, give him armor break and a willpower, and then just I'll give him a hunger down. Actually, I'll give him a Titan straps. I'll give him a 1+1 armor regeneration. Now he's perhaps even more of a tank than Mogr. Let's see here. I suppose we would want to try to make sure that our men gain experience fairly equally. Well, what I found in the previous Banner Saga games is that it's actually best to focus on a small number of characters. I mean, more than 6, right? Maybe you want 9 who you're consistently advancing, so that in case one takes a wound, or heaven forbid is killed, then you'll have someone to take his place who's at a comparable level. But if you try to if you spread yourself too thin and try to use different characters every battle or something like that, then you'll end up somewhat underpowered. Rook is definitely someone we want in all battles. I think Canary is someone we want. It's basically our 2 archers there. Maybe we can 2 varl I think is a good number. Aegil is a mainstay and just absolutely essential. What are Fasolt's powers here? Yeah, okay, he can taunt. That's right, bring the pain. So yeah, he's a lot like Mogr, except that Mogr has battering ram and Fasolt has taunt. For this battle, I'm going to sub in Fasolt. And I might be able to bring Gunnulf in as well. Oh yeah, we do want to do a promotion here. We can promote Hakon for 19, which I would love the opportunity to do. Let's see, what are the armor break talents again? A small twist can turn a crushing blow into a scuff on your armor. So we can avoid armor attacks, that's helpful. We have 1 more point. Let's see, also resisting armor damage is good. We'll do that. Any sort of passive ability to resist damage is very beneficial in this game. Probably 2 varl. I mean, they take up so much space. That's why I don't like to have more than 2 on the field at a time. These other horseborn, I don't have much of a need to use them at the moment. So Fasolt doesn't have a magic item yet. We want to give him that. He's only level 8, so we can't use it. What about this item here? Protects from death. Not very worried about Fasolt dying. I think he's very unlikely to do that. He's extremely high in armor. What about this item here? Well, actually, let me take a look for a moment at what we've got on, since we brought Mogr out. What magic item does Mogr have? Yeah, sorry, I'm just figuring this out here. Oh, okay, it'll say at the bottom if I look at these small icons. Mogr is using the Valga thread, 1 armor per turn. Okay. I'm going to see if I can give that to Fasolt. He's now got the Valka thread. I'll just move it between them as needed if they just sub in for each other during battle. But in any event, I think we're good to go. All right. Don't let Rugga slither his way out of this one. What does that mean that I have my time in this battle with these Kragsmen? Okay. Alright, yeah, we have Kragsmen who are somewhat souped up versions of the typical ruffians that we tend to meet. A bunch of these sort of elite spearmen here. Kragsman Hag Hurler, who, contrary to what their name implies, do not actually hurl hags. They hurl arrows by way of their bows. They're sort of elite archers. Kragsmen are generally fierce fighters. Backbiter Renegade is sort of an elite backbiter. So we have a relatively conventional set of troops here. I would say we want to do what we did in the previous battle, or something pretty similar to that, which is to have our massive armor having force charge into melee against the elite spearmen. On the flank, we will have our horseborn attack, hopefully quickly slay that archer, and then get around to harassing the flanks of the enemy. Rook wants to be sort of on the outskirts of the northwestern group and take pot shots as he can against the melee troops to try to reduce their armor. Alright, so I think that the enemy is going to be able to make his way up to us. If I were to move up there, that would be 2 willpower. But I think we're going to start scoring kills pretty soon. One thing that I do want to do is, is determine what our potential movement is. Yeah, so if I were to get right up in the face of this guy, and use 2 willpower to do it, I think I'd still be in a pretty good situation. I'm gonna break this guy's armor. Yep, he resisted the armor damage, and now he's face to face with Hakon, which is not where he wants to be. Hakon's gonna actually use 2 willpower to get right up to his friend Egil, so that he's gonna benefit from Egil's shield wall in case they decide to attack me. And he's gonna effortlessly crush this bad brother. Okay, now they're wisely forming a shield wall, but my shield wall is gonna be stronger, frankly. If I were to move Fasolt up there, could I provoke one of them? Am I in range to do that? Yeah, I could provoke one of them. Oh, but in order to do that, I would need to use 3 willpower. I don't think it's worth it. Alright, bring the pain as a melee attack, so I'm going to end his turn. Oh, and yeah, what she just, she fired an arrow, and I believe it's now unclear where the arrow landed, but where, if I step into the square where it landed, then I'm going to, my movement is going to be impeded. In fact, I think I'm going to have to end my turn. If I were to get up there, okay, is there anywhere that where I am in range to strike? I think I'm going to keep moving him up. He'll be in range to attack on the following turn. They're trying to impede my mobility. She's got the willpower to do it. Yeah, we're going to start stripping away the strength of these archers. I'm going to do 5 to her. It's a pretty good number. Add 1 willpower. See if we can finish on the next turn. That was a nasty shot. Ooh, that was vicious. I don't want him doing any more damage to her. It's not necessary, so I'm going to significantly reduce his strength. That was good. That's exactly what we want him to do. Is attack Fasolt. Yeah, we're going to move Egil to create a shield wall. Oh, I see. I stepped on. You look like you could use some help. Actually, I think we've got this in hand. But hey, I appreciate it. Well, I did a pretty significant amount of damage there. Well, I'm not so worried about this guy using his willpower. Good munder. I want to get him into the fray as quickly as I can. The enemy's done a pretty good job of maneuvering. So it's hard to bet against my front line there. Okay. I could do a hell of a lot of damage right now with a Sundering Impact. Yeah, the Spearmen are not in very good shape. I was a little bit worried that I'm going to lose Egil, which I don't really want. I want to reduce the strength of this guy to the extent that I can. Okay, well, Egil isn't taking any straight shots at least. Good, he can just ride in there without even using any willpower. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's going to cause Hakon to take a little bit of a hit, but I think it's worth it. Just refreshing my memory there a little bit. The mule kick ability would send him through 2 enemies. He's going to stay out of the main battle. And I stunned him. Right, so we still have a lot of the enemies up, but I think they're pretty weakened at this point. The Spearmen pack a punch, but not as much as I pack. Ooh, Egil just took a nasty shot. Alright, I'm gonna get Egil the hell out of there. Okay, Gudmundur wants to get up all upon those archers. In a sense of inflicting violence upon them. Alright. So here's a nasty thing. I wonder whether this will finish them both. This is a little bit of an equipment demonstration here. Tempest. Yep. Slew them both. Tempest is an attack that hits everyone in the vicinity, obviously very powerful. Yes, that I think may have been the, not the coup de grace, but close to it. We could afford to spend a little willpower breaking the enemy armor. Oh, he just restored his armor due to the Titan straps ability. His armor's still holding up pretty well. Test out this trample ability I haven't used in a while. Ooh, savage. Might as well chill where he is. Actually, he has to move, that's right. No, a palpable hit, but not quite palpable enough. That's stupid. Indeed it does. There we go, and I managed to kill all of the enemies, and as a result got the maximum possible renown, which was my objective there. Which is plus 10, that's a nice chunk of change. Petrus rallies his men with tremendous skill. They quickly repel the ambush with his help. Wiping his blade clean of blood, Petrus then leads him to rugga hard with his fists and feet until the man is curled into a quivering ball on the ground. The thrashing ends, accompanied by grim sound effects, when Petrus is satisfied and the fighter who joined you in battle paces nearby. Bastards, utter bastards! It's been a miserable hard road, and I wasn't willing to watch good men go down like that. I'm Gudmundur, he continues. Lots of us here from Bindal. I was captain there myself. He glances at his banner, trembled and bloody, and notices yours. Though I'll admit we could be doing a lot better. You take the hint. Fight like you did there, and you're welcome to join us. I swear it, Gudmundur replies. He gathers his tattered banner and sends word along to his people. Okay, we gain some supplies, we get better morale. Okay. Seems like that was a good decision. As for the options, I think I'm going to stop for now. We've been going for about an hour, but we're making a pretty brisk pace at this point. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you all again. I'm gonna keep posting these videos in pretty rapid succession because I'm very excited about Banner Saga 3. And thank you for joining me.